Hello, I'm MPX and welcome back to the video. Today I have something pretty interesting and different to share with you all because it is going to be a review of the Egyptian Mythology texture pack. That's right, the texture pack which is part of the Mashup pack, because a Mashup pack includes music, it includes titles, it includes a themed world and skin packs, but today we're going to be mostly focusing on none of those things but instead the texture pack, because when it comes to the 4J Mashup packs, they tend to be sometimes a bit too crowded, or they tend to be some of the best texture packs that do exist, and I think this texture pack, the Egyptian one, tends to fall in that second category for a whole bunch of reasons. I feel like I have to show off, so that's what I'm going to be doing in today's video. Hopefully you all do enjoy it. Please do like this video if you do like it, because it helps out the channel, and let's know you do like the the mashup pack / texture pack reviews, and that you like seeing them in my Let's Play world, because I like to split these into 3 key parts. There's obviously the Nether, which is a key thing that is often ruined by many a texture pack. There's going to be the underground, and there's going to be the overworld, your existing builds. Do all of these things work with that? And let me explain that in today's video. Hopefully you all do enjoy. So the first thing I'm going to do is just show you the moon, because I really like the moon in this texture pack. I figured it was worth staying up late just to show you how great the moon looks. Let's go to sleep and let's show you everything, starting with my Let's Play house. So again, this is my Let's Play world, of course, and therefore you might recognize these builds, and this is the first time I've ever done one of these kind of Let's Play review things on Bedrock using my backup of the world, which is stored on my thing right here. So yeah, I think it's gonna be a bit different, but that's kind of fun too. And let me just start by mentioning the fact that the very first impression I had on this texture pack when moving into my Let's Play world was that everything is a bit hard to see. Looking at the inventory, you can recognize more than other texture packs, but there still is the issue where you're like, oh my god, how do I find my, the thing I'm looking for? And in a lot of cases, it's just like, I guess you're not going to find the thing. So yeah, that's something you have to deal with. And also, if you put on a dragon head, you're going to look extra crazy and like a crocodile, which might be your thing. I like it personally, but it is something that, really shocked me as being just wildly different to what I was expecting. But again, I like it personally, so maybe you will too. So anyway, with that said, the items and the, the hotbar and stuff like that really isn't to my liking in this texture pack, but pretty much everything else is. So we'll start with, the negatives of like, lots of things confused me. My inventory was just tricky to get along with. Like, this is a flint and steel. It looks kind of like a crossbow, right? There's a lot of things that are going to be confusing in that regard, but as far as blocks and stuff, you shouldn't find too much confusion, because as soon as I left my house, as soon as I left the brown confusion that blended with my hotbar, blended my inventory, you'll start to see how everything starts to be a lot more clear. So grass, for instance, is just grass. Staircases and wood is just wood. Stone slabs, still made of stone, and pretty much everything else, even though there's slight color differences, still looks really great. Look at the lava, for instance. You can tell it's lava, and you can tell it's better looking than normal lava, and there's just small things like this I love all over the place. Look, the texture includes like little splatters every now and then just to make it even better. Love the lava in this texture pack, absolutely love it, and also love mobs in this texture pack, because it's the same kind of thing where you can recognize what they are about 80% of the time. Sometimes it's like, wait, that hippopotamus is a polar bear, but you can recognize what they are 80% of the time, but they all have a really like interesting, cute Egyptian flair. So like, look at these animals right here. Again, there's just something kind of nice about the cows, but looking at the pigs in particular, it's just like, what the heck are the, like, there's something nice about it. I guess that's what pigs look like in Egypt. They all wore the little, head things, the pharaoh masks, I guess they're called. And yeah, there's something very interesting about that. But you'll see that with pretty much any mob in this update. If we look for some dogs, for instance, they're these just evil, not evil, but like they're these black things that are just like, what the heck is going on with this guy? And I don't know, maybe you like that, maybe you don't. But Egyptian everything when it comes to mobs, Egyptian everything when it comes to lava and water, and it looks kind of great in those regards. So if we look at some buildings, for instance, you can see how, we've got the huge rail cart thing, which will take me to the other side of the world. We've got the bank to take at, we've got the anvil building. We've got a few like kind of big buildings next to each other. You can see how most of these are pretty recognizable. There's a few tiny sins of like, well, why is there a wood pan there and an entirely different one there? And there's obviously like, okay, everything's white and that's a thing. But as far as is it recognizable? 100% yes. Everything you see here, you'll be able to recognize to some decent degree, which has to be said, that's a good thing. Even these swords, they gain like a kind of good thing from it. Even though they have that weird image, it kind of blends, at least to my eyes, which is a good thing. And yeah, basically everything is going to work just about. Like as far as like Overworld, there's a lot of really great things, and even the things that aren't so great, you'll be able to spot fairly easily enough. Like, it definitely fixes some of the previous problems where you just kind of have to stare at it for a while and be like, I don't know what's going on here. So big fan of that personally, big fan of the way everything is recognizable and easy and just a good thing. But this is just the overworld builds. We've got some more of those coming up, but let's now go to the Nether so we can talk more about that, because so far, we've got a little bit of a positive combined with a little bit of a negative, but let's see what the Nether's like, because although I have experienced the Nether quite a few times, I feel like it's not going to be what you're expecting. Also, by the way, the portal is the best portal animation. Seriously, look at this thing. It's a bunch of Egyptian mummy skulls or whatever with this weird derpy one in between. But still, really love the portals because obsidian looks great and the portal design looks great. And something about that is like the first, thing you'll see about the Nether, and you're gonna love it. And also, the Nether itself isn't too bad either because the Netherrack has been changed to this really sad-looking block. So you're gonna make some mistakes and accidentally try and mine it with your fist sometimes. But again, you'll get over that fairly soon, I would imagine. The only issues I really have with the Nether is that soul sand and this, tend to blend together sometimes, not hugely, but I get them confused at least a little bit and did at the very start. So keep that in mind. But everything else about the Nether, I really like. The Nether brick, the fact that the fortresses stand out so clearly from the rest, that's a good thing. The fact that the fire is still so clear and the lava is found everywhere here, it's really good. And the fact that it still has the red tint as opposed to going for like a bright yellow or something. Personally, I do quite like it. It's clearer in the Nether. It's just a different form of the Nether. And did you see up there? I swear, it looks like this is sand. Oh, because it's gravel. But yeah, basically, being in the Nether is still distinctly a different place. It's not perfect, I wouldn't say. I would say there's definitely some issues with being in here, and there's definitely some things that, aren't like how I would personally do it. But I think as far as like, if you go to the Nether, which you will do in any survival world, you're going to be able to deal with it. You're going to be able to have a good time here, and it might even be your favorite type of Nether, because looking around here, you can see how there's just some really interesting color balances that you don't normally find. So yeah, I'm a pretty big fan of the Nether. It's not like the best Nether in the world, but I'll give it like a solid 8 out of 10, kind of like the Overworld. It's like, yeah, things work, which is all you're really asking for right here, and that's kind of handy. So let's now fly back to the other side of the Overworld, because I'm going to need to show that off too. So we're going to have to, oh, no, not into the lava. Okay, I'm in the lava. Well, I mean, who doesn't accidentally fall in a big lava stream every now and then? It's a pretty normal thing to be doing, I think. So, yeah, lava obviously is going to burn us for a long time, so we have to be super, super careful about this. So, yeah, let me mention, by the way, the fire animation looks pretty good, not only while it's on the ground, but also while it's on you. Like, it's clear you're on fire, and it kind of, again, fits the whole Egyptian thing pretty well, which is good, which is great. So, yeah, let's go back to the Overworld. Let's take another one of these amazing portals, because it has to be said every time, like, this portal animation is just so much better than anything I've seen in other texture packs, which is a good thing. So, or at least in terms of this theme. So, yeah, now let's go over to the Overworld, and let's talk about the rest of the builds here, because we do, of course, have, a huge world over here. And let me just mention that, yeah, every build that I have in this texture pack looks just about fine too. Like, it really kind of goes back to the same thing of like, it either looks better because it somehow is enhanced, or it looks about fine. They haven't nested the colors too much so that too many things go ugly, and maybe that's just my world being lucky, but to me at least it seems like this texture pack really has a decent amount of respect for your existing build. It's not going to ruin them, the cost, to make the Mashup pack world better or to make some textures look more interesting, they haven't ruined existing things, and in fact in a lot of examples they've actually made things better. So for instance, do you see my cat who's lying in a boat there? Look how great, well, I mean, cats, I've already mentioned, like, I love mobs, but look how great the boat looks. They've made a lot of tiny changes, like the dragon head, like stuff like this, to really small things in this update that just make for amazing upgrades. So again, look at this boat and tell me you're not in love with it. There's 6 colors of boats, and they all have, like, different distinct wood types being made out of, but they all look great and they all look like this because boats are just something that I absolutely love in this. They inspire my imagination, and if they do for you too, then good news, the boats are insane in this. And pretty much any other mob I show you, pretty much any other entity I show you, they're going to have a similar thing going on because they took a lot of liberties to make these great things in this texture pack, and that's something I'm a big fan of. So yeah, I could go over every single mob, every single little detail like that, but let me instead focus on the underground experience. So, yeah, by the way, farms, besides sugarcane, which is super weird, you'll be able to recognize those pretty easily as well. But let's go underground, and let's talk about the final component of a texture pack, in my opinion, because I feel like one of the biggest things, one of the most important bits, is to talk about the fact that the underground is something you can spend a lot of time doing, like mining and such. Maybe not so much anymore. I feel like, when I first started doing these, like, that was the most important thing. But it is worth mentioning, you will go underground sometimes, and some texture packs are just impossible to mine in. You have to switch to default every single time. This one, I would not say has that same issue. Also, look at that slime. See my point right there? It's got some weird turtle going on in there. Anyway, so let's talk about the underground, because the underground works pretty fine, actually. You can spot every ore really easily. There's no confusion between lapis and diamonds, so that's clearly lapis, for instance, and diamonds are a lot more clear. Redstone is really easy to spot as well. Every single ore is very, very clearly labeled, and although you can argue that gravel is a bit too similar to stone, everything else is very distinct, very different, and mining is an experience, at least I personally, because I did a little bit just to test out that I wasn't confused, I had a pretty easy experience mining underground. Like, you just mine, and then, it's clear that you're mining stone, until all of a sudden, you're mining diamonds, or you're mining, gold or something. It's a very, very easy experience, and that's something that can't be said for every texture pack. So, yeah, with that said, here, that is kind of my basic review of the survival part of this texture pack, or at least the main part of my Let's Play world. I would give it, you know, kind of like a solid 8 out of 10 in every category. It really is just pretty solidly above average for everything, and then every now and then it really excels. I love the mobs. They're, you know, easily some of the best mobs we've seen in a while. I love the boats. They're easily some of the best boats we've seen in a while. And every now and then there's a small detail I really like about it as well, like, you know, Ender Dragon heads. Or I really like the Elytra, for instance. They're these weird little... You know, they look like Native American wings more than Egyptian wings, but maybe there's a link between those. But, you know, you can kind of see that, like, everything looks, you know... Oh, gosh, okay, we looked at the enemy while being in third person. But, okay, so let's just stop this very quickly. But, yeah, everything looks great. There's all these small things that I really prefer to other texture packs. And before we go, though, because I do like the survival portion, but while we're on the, you know, the PC anyway, let's take advantage of it. And let's quickly hop into... by the way, look, aquatic beta, so we get that in background. Let's go into the Egyptian mythology world, and let me just give you a few thoughts on that, because it's really interesting using the Windows 10 version, which has the most insane render distance of any version. Bear in mind, this is turned down right now. I have about half the max render distance turned on for Minecraft right now, and seeing the entire world in one spot is one, a magnificent thing, and two, we can use it as an opportunity to show off some other things about this texture pack. So as you can see, looking over here, it's pretty cool. We can see how, like, oh yeah, there's the entire world all in one view, but also we then go into the inventory. We grab ourselves some polar bears, or they're hippos in this. We grab ourselves some wither skulls, and then we're also going to grab ourselves the end stuff, so I can show you every single, I want to show you every single, you know, like, interesting mob that I found, because I find all of these to be interesting. So I've seen the Ender Dragon, and I've seen the polar bear, and I'm going to do the wither as a nice little, just like, oh, let's see how that one goes, right? So again, looking at the items, looking at the creative inventory, you can really see how, like, the point I made earlier stands. Like, most things recognizable, some things like, what even is that? Like rabbit hide? Wouldn't have guessed. But that's why I guess you meant to learn I guess the order of things if you really want to get that done. But here we go. Now let's just grab some more spawn eggs, because I want to check out a few, you know, random mobs you don't normally find. So, like, have you ever wondered what Endermite looks like? Actually, you know what that looks like. An Elder Guardian, we'll throw this in tow, just so we have every single, like, kind of boss-ish mob going on here and seeing it in this texture pack. So yeah, again, one more time, look at the view in every direction. Pretty crazy, right? But yeah, let's now go down. Let's show you the polar bears, because polar bears are hippos. Like I said, it's a really crazy, weird thing. Zombie horses are... I mean, they're zombie horses, but they're pretty wacky. And guardians look like this. Look at this. Tell me this is a normal thing for you to see in your Minecraft world. What even... They look like wiggling snakes, but they're guardians. And yeah, have you ever wanted to see the strangest mob in this update? Guess what? There you go. So next up, let's play some soul sand. Let's show you the wither boss, because the wither is, of course, always interesting. I haven't seen this one yet, but I do want to, for the very first time, share it with you. We'll have an Elder Garden be next to them, so we can explode the two together. Look how beautiful they look together, don't they? We'll spawn a bunch of them. There we go. Oh, okay, we killed the Elder Guardian. So, as you can see, the wither looks like a three-headed frog monster. I have no idea what that thing is meant to be, but it does look pretty crazy. You gotta give him points for that. And it's going to attack the hippopotamus, because life isn't fair in this texture pack. And yeah, basically Wither looks pretty crazy. And we've got one more example I want to show off, because again, I like to show the extremities of every texture pack, like, you know, the things you're not going to experience all the time, but that you might want to, you know, like, have pride in eventually experiencing. And this is one of those great examples of that. Oh, these are ender chests, not ender portal frames. Well, that's embarrassing. I should have realized that long before now. So I think it's called I'll just type in frame. There we go. That's what. Oh no. End portal frame. End portal. There we go. So it's because they're not called end portal frames on Bedrock, because Bedrock has a different naming system. So I searched end and I got the wrong things. It's surprising though how similar like these items are, and it proves my point that like most things you're going to be entirely fine with, but some things are going to confuse you, which for some people might be a deal breaker. Like, you know, you might figure like, no, I want to be able to see every item. I don't want to be just like thinking some of the items. But that's a risky run. Anyway, let's now finish up with the end dragon, because that's a... Oh, look at that end portal. Look at it. So let's just first of all, actually, let's fire, just for the fun of it, some Elder Guardians in there. I want to have some I want to make them go into the portal. I feel like that's a wacky experience I can have. Okay, so anyway, let's hop in, and let's now show off the Ender Dragon. Well, it sucks to be that guy. Let's show off the Ender Dragon, because it's one of the best things about this texture pack. That again, you'll experience it once, but when you do experience it, you're like, oh my gosh, this is no normal Ender Dragon. Look at this fella. And then, oh my god, he knocked me away. Yeah, basically, Ender Dragon is crazy wild in this texture pack because, again, they're taking more liberties when redesigning this stuff. So they've removed a lot of the body limbs, made them invisible. They've extended it in other parts. And as a result, you get one of the best looking Ender Dragons we've seen in quite some time. And I really do like when we see stuff like that from the dragons and such. And yeah, Elder Guardians looking great. Wither Boss looking great too. And Ender Dragon also having a fairly good time. So let's just let's spawn in another Wither Boss so we can see all of the three kind of boss-ish mobs together. Because personally, I feel like that's the thing we have to see together. I hope you did all enjoy this video, giving you a brief tour, my review of this thing. You can like it if you did like it, because it helps out the channel. Let us know you do like the texture pack reviews. You can share it if you really liked it, and you can subscribe if you're new around here, because I make videos like this one every single day. I guess every single time a texture pack comes out by 4J Studios. I guess now they only make mashup packs, but I make them every single day on my channel regardless. And if you want to subscribe with the notification bell hit, then you'll see them every single day on your homepage. Smash that bell, twizzle that like button, just gently massage that share button, add it to your favorites in a very slow but reaffirming way, and then I hope you all enjoyed it, because I'll see you later. Goodbye.